Hi guys, and welcome to Market Analysis with Blockhead here at BlockParty Trading. This is going to be a little series released once a week where we're going to look primarily at Bitcoin and then also a couple of the other coins that are requested from some of the subscribers. So please, of course, like and subscribe and post down in the comments below which coins you might want us to cover. So let's have a little look at Bitcoin analysis today. Certainly after the epic day yesterday, which was the B word with Elon Musk, Jack Dorsey, and of course Cathie Wood, and how it affected the price. I think it's pretty obvious to see, as you can see right here, where the kind of the FOMO started to kick in, and it really started to take off upwards of about 10%, I'd say, at its absolute peak. It was quite interesting if we look at the trajectory of how Bitcoin went over the past, since about the 19th of July, because that was where it was nearing the end of the consolidation from this descending triangle. We'll have a little look on the longer day time frame shortly. However, you can see quite clearly here this candle on 19th of July at 1 p.m. It broke down quite severely, and I'm not going to lie, this was pretty bad news. In my heart of hearts, I thought this was going to be it to probably about 28.2k, which was where there was a whole bunch of buy orders sat. And you can see this classic kind of breakdown, retest, and then massive dump down again. However, this little section just here was quite interesting for an entire day of just consolidating right below 30k. And from a relatively experienced trader's point of view, I was 100% expecting this to get rejected and fly down. However, we did have a couple of things released, which was, of course, the MasterCard and Circle partnership, which is absolutely huge for crypto. And we're on the, on the evening before quite a big event, like I said, with the B word, featuring three quite prolific entrepreneurs within the tech industry, but also big infrastructure developers within cryptocurrency, being Jack Dorsey developing a lot of this hardware wallet and integrating with Square. Elon Musk, is Elon Musk. I think everyone was kind of hoping to see if he would mention about Tesla accepting Bitcoin again. Whilst he didn't confirm it, he did allude to it, that, with a bit further due diligence, that Tesla would be looking to start accepting Bitcoin again. So I think in most of the crypto community's opinion, that's as good as confirmed. However, there was one question which was pretty hanging from my point of view, and Elon Musk, credit to him, completely outright asked Jack Dorsey, will Twitter be accepting cryptocurrency for ad payments? And this is huge when you start to take into consideration just how large that market is. Jack Dorsey, from a very experienced kind of interviewee, should I say, he skirted around that question quite well. Anyway, back to the analysis. So with all that on board, that was kind of the instigator behind this, because it certainly wasn't predicated on technical analysis. As we can see here on the 1 hour time frame, I was having a bit of an issue whether to see this as a more symmetrical triangle or an ascending triangle. But either way, there was a kind of degree of consolidation occurring around about 32.2k. Now, if you're following our premium channel, or if you're a premium channel member, you would have known that 32.2k was an area of resistance to look out for. And that was called right back yesterday, down here somewhere. And as you can see right here, we've got this massive wick, and there was a hard rejection at 32.2k. I am not super duper comfortable trading underneath 32k. I'd very much like us to get above that to start to really kind of lean towards the next leg up. We are currently not oversold, which is pretty good news. But as you can see as well, we are consolidating quite heavily just here on the alpha momentum. Since about 9 p.m. yesterday, we've not really seen too much action, and I guess this is kind of the dust settling after yesterday's quite exciting events. Let's just shoot that back up there. Now the USA has come online, and historically the USA will trade in the direction of where we're going. Now, an interesting little factoid, New York pretty much has the time zone when in New York comes online is the time zone when the most people are awake globally. So you will probably expecting to be seeing quite a lot of action happen around that period. Handy little indicator here on TradingView which lets me know when different markets are coming on board, you know, from China or Hong Kong, should I say, and UK, and of course New York. Anyway, we are clearly coming towards the end of this mini consolidation cycle for this daily, and it looks like we might be going down a little bit further based on this. As you can see, like I said, there is a clear bit of consolidation. It looks like we may have broken down on this ascending triangle. The trend lines from the alpha trend are showing kind of a bit of a vague representation of this little area where I think we'll be playing in. This big thick yellow line is a very long-term confirmed resistance trend line, and we have got above that, which is great. We've come down and retested it, so who knows, we might come down a little bit further and retest it again, although I'm pretty bullish in the short term with where Bitcoin's going. So let's have a quick look on the longer time frame and see what that's telling us. So quite exciting here. It wasn't until on the 20th of July and the 21st of July where we got this little bounce down here, which really confirmed a bit of a theory which I had, which was a descending wedge. And from this you can quite clearly see that there is a descending wedge. Obviously you've got all these wicks flying out, however they have been bought pretty aggressively by anybody that's interested. So this, I guess, is the point of contention right here, and we are sat on it. If we can get above this and hold above this downward resistance trend line, then I think things are going to be looking pretty gravy. The general I guess, assumed range that we're in at the moment is quite easily between 30k and 40k. Nothing too special there. Two kind of massive milestones within Bitcoin. However, I have to say, like I said, I am feeling a little bit bullish, and dare I say, there's a bit of hopium in creeping in. So if we stay above this, then that's great. Although we do have a pretty big resistance, well, three resistances to break through, which is the 20, 50, and 200 DEMA. As you can see here on this 20 DMA, that has been a real pain for us to try and break through. Every time we've broken through, we've come back down, all the way back to 12th of May was the last time we were trading comfortably above the 20 DMA. So we'll see how it plans out. The big things to watch for are 32.2k. If we can get above that, then amazing. Although if not, if we come back down into this tight little consolidation, then things are really starting to get hot under the collar, and we could see a huge breakdown and push towards you know, your 25k region quite comfortably. Although all things considered, I do think we are going to be going up. We'll probably break out, and we might retest 30k, but on the long term that's not necessarily a too bad thing, because that would still kind of count as a retest on this descending wedge. But anyway, I would say your longer term targets, if we stay above 30k, is quite easily and conservatively 40k. That is long term. I think that'll be more kind of towards mid to late August. But for the rest of July, I think, you know, you could be quite comfortable targeting somewhere around about 36k, you know, just here. Anyway, that kind of concludes the Bitcoin daily analysis. I hope that's been helpful, and I hope it kind of gives you an idea of where the market's going. We'll have a little look now into a couple of altcoin requests that we've had and see what and where they're going. Okay, now let's get into the altcoins. So one of the most requested coins that we had was HNT. So I'll be using HNT USDT for a bit of analysis and just looking at the 1 day here. I think the 1 day paints the best picture for this coin. We do actually have a halvening coming up for HNT just here on the 1st of August. Now obviously with halvenings, they aren't necessarily so instantaneous as we've seen historically, but they, you know, they deflate the product, you know, they make it more scarce. So if really in crypto it, you know, it has any kind of fundamental value, making it more scarce is only going to lead to one thing, and that's upwards. I am actually super duper happy that we are looking at HNT, because this is actually a really great chart. We have obviously been absolutely whacked, bushwhacked, since the 19th of May when it first came in, but as we can see, it's had some really good spikes, and it's been decoupling a little bit from Bitcoin, which is quite interesting to see, which means that, you know, there's some solid fundamentals behind it and going on. You know, there's a lot to do with, you know, they're quite heavy within mining industries as well. I'm not going to get too fundamental on this because it's all about technical analysis, but just so you know that the fundamentals are there with HNT. So what is quite good about this is we're looking at the 200 DEMA line just here, and we have bounced off it not once but twice, almost perfectly. As you can see, just get my little circle drawing tool out. What color is it today? It's a yellow. So it's bounced there and also here as well. Real kind of big signs. You know, in my opinion, that is quite easy to confirm as a double bottom. It comes down, bounce, back up. But also, not only the 200 DEMA, but also the 200 EMA on the daily. Well, I guess they're the same. The moving average and the DMA, I thought that was on the daily. We've come out of a bit of we are coming out of a consolidation period, so hopefully we're not going straight down. But I can't see that happening now with a lot of the kind of vibrancy coming back into Bitcoin. But you know, we have just found this trend line. Not only is it a double bounce, but look at all of these. I mean, how strong is this support? Sitting at 9.425, and you know, we don't have to be too much of an expert to kind of paint on somewhat of a kind of descending triangle just here. Let's get it just about here. So right here, this is clearly a big pump that, you know, got a bit out of hand, but it was, you know, taken back very quickly at this resistance just here. I'll actually have a look into what that pump was. So anyway, it came up here, and we're kind of seeing a bit of a downward tracking motion, and this is an indication of kind of consolidation. All of this is consolidation, really. And we seem to be getting to a bit of a turning point, which could be quite a large pump coming from here. On the alpha trends, we've also got these two trend lines coming in, which is pointing into an almost perfect symmetrical triangle, and we're playing just at the bottom of it. So all in all, what would my play be with HNT? Well, I would probably ride this up until at least about 13.44, at which point it would take us probably quite close to the halvening. So at that point, anything could happen. It could go down, it could fly up like that. So I would definitely be taking profit around about this region, which kind of meets a lot of resistance with the trend lines. But also, if we break out here, we should see a bit of a pump. Just here, like I said, that's where you take profit or kind of tighten up your stop loss. However, if we do break above this, coupled with the halvening, we could see a very big pump going up to about $20. Again, obviously keep your eye on Bitcoin as to where it will go, but obviously not all analysis looks like this in a straight arrow straight up, but we are, like I said, coming to the end of this consolidation, so a pump or a dump should be expected. We can't leave without looking at a bearish scenario as well. And I'm not going to lie, the bearish scenario on this one would actually be pretty evil. So don't go in too deep on your, open stop losses for this one, and make sure that you've got a good DCA structure in place. However, if we were to lose this, you know, the next kind of point of, it's all pretty low liquidity down to about here, which is a pretty nasty, 20-30% drop. So watch yourselves. Looking at the actual technical indicators that we've got here at BlockParty, the alpha volume, which is one of the more reliable ones, certainly on the day, is showing a really strong buy signal. As you can see, we don't get these very often. The last time that we did was just down here, which then continued on to quite a short-term 130% pump, but then a much longer term, well, all the way up to 2,500%. The BPT signals operate in a very similar fashion, so we got a signal just here, which then proceeded onto a 60% pump, and we're seeing a very similar signal here on a custom RSI bounce signal, so we could very well be seeing this 85% pump come from it. Anyway, guys, of course, this is all for education. Your investments are your responsibility, so be safe out there, and of course always remember that trading is just the patient waiting for the impatient to give them all their monies. Stay safe.